Everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
Buenas noches, soy Daniel Pineda.
And my name is Adele Quo.
Very nice. We'll be doing this in, we'll be bilingual.
Bilingual show.
And here we go with another show, this somewhere around the middle of July 2014, halfway through this year. It's racing by. News and Community Bulletin Board, of course, and Adele is here with...
It's Easy Being Green! With the mascot.
Green frog
with Joe Tree Frog.
Where's your rain barrel? You forgot your rain barrel tonight.
Today we're talking something different.
Something different
But
tonight.
she has
it's
her
always
truck,
good to
though.
have something different. She does have her truck. That's cool.
For all you boys out there.
CBB Rich is here with his reviews, news for seniors, and then Rich doing double duty again tonight, talking with Laura Donahue from Humane Society of Arlington. That's our show. But before we begin, a social media reminder from my partner.
Absolutely.
Oh, welcome back, by
Well,
the way, Mr.
thank you,
Daniel.
thank you. Well, you can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1, and also our Facebook page, facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News.
All right, thanks, Daniel. Well, we begin tonight with some sad news this week. An Arlington boy was killed while on vacation in Ohio this weekend. 8-year-old Eli Sachar and 3 family members were hit by a car in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Shakar, his family and members and the driver were transported to a hospital. Eli, however, died later of his injuries. The rest of the family survived. The driver of the other car was a woman that did not stop for pedestrians. Police don't know how or why this happened, and the investigation is continuing. Daniel.
Well, the Columbia Pike Streetcar Project just got a boost. The streetcar project is part of a larger initiative to connect Arlington and Skyline in Fairfax by streetcar. Now, Virginia's Transportation Secretary Audrey Lane has notified Arlington and Fairfax County officials that the state is making available an additional $65 million. That means that the state will be contributing approximately 50% of the Columbia Pike streetcar's total design and construction cost. The next step is for Arlington and Fairfax counties and the Department of Rail and Public Transportation to assemble a milestone schedule and a grant agreement with the state. You can get more information at the Arlington County website. That's at news.arlingtonva.us.
And the streetcar saga continues. Stay tuned for that. We'll keep you updated as we get information. Well, Arlington County government is developing its 10-year CIP, Capital Improvement Program. It's an important county planning process that is updated every 2 years. It identifies capital needs for schools, parks, libraries, technology, water, and other county infrastructure. To learn more about it and see how you can provide your input, visit their website, budget.arlingtonva.us/capital improvement program, and you can find more information on the CIP there. Daniel.
Well, Craig, the D.C. area was recently hit with severe thunderstorms that brought strong winds and falling trees. The storm also brought lightning that struck a group of soldiers. The incident happened near Whipple Field on Joint Base Meyer-Henderson Hall. The soldiers were reported to be conscious and alert with non-life-threatening injuries. They were attended to at the scene by Arlington firefighters and paramedics.
And speaking of our storm information, in case another strong storm or other public safety incident is coming our way or in progress, you can now get updates via phone using Arlington Alert. This is a system that the county can use to contact you during an emergency. You'll learn what the problem is, where to go and what to do or not to do, who to contact, and other important information. You can also choose how you'd like to get your messages and when you'd like to get them. The service is free, although your wireless carrier may charge for messages. You can pick when you'd like to block notifications as well. To learn more, visit emergency.arlingtonva.us. And we'll be back with our CBB, Community Bulletin Board file, right after we hear from Adele, and
It's Easy Being Green.
Right, Adele?
Show the mascot
There you
again.
go.
Exactly. Everyone meet Joe Tree Frog, our new
Joe
Easy...
Tree Frog.
Exactly,
That's
our
very
Easy
good.
Being Green mascot. And Adele here, Easy Being Green. If we start with the trash talk today, where does your garbage go if you live or work in Arlington or Alexandria? Even if your recycling habits are strong and you compost, I bet you're still putting your trash can curbside, at least weekly, to be collected. The good news is that since 1988, most of the trash generated by our homes and businesses in Arlington and Alexandria goes to an Alexandria facility where our garbage is turned into electricity. Nearly 1,000 tons of waste is processed daily. That provides enough renewable energy to power 23,000 homes each day. Back in November 2011, the U.S. Capitol began sending its trash, about 5,000 tons every year, to the same Alexandria facility. That produced enough electricity to power an additional 250 area homes. Waste to energy recovery is not new, but it is underutilized. Americans generate almost about 250 million tons of trash each year. Only 87 million tons are recycled or composted, and only 12% or 30 million tons are converted to energy. But 55% or 137 million tons of America's garbage is dumped into landfills each year. That's not good. By comparison, Germany converts 38% of their waste into energy and recycles the remaining 62%. Americans need to address the fact that 80% of what we throw away is recyclable or compostable and not very combustible. The Alexandria facility officials tout the importance of recycling, saying their waste-to-energy facility does not replace recycling. Americans have a trash problem. While this is a story of how Arlington and the U.S. Capitol's trash is turned into electricity, it's also a story about a technology that's badly underused. We do need to reduce, reuse, and recycle more. So even though we've had the technology to convert trash to electricity, only 19 states consider waste to energy a renewable energy source, while 30 states count landfill gases converted to power as renewable. So this is also a story about a technology that should be used more, and therefore it's a story about sustainability. So remember, it's easy being green if you reuse, recycle, and compost before throwing it out as trash.
Good stuff. All right, Lord knows we got enough trash. We should be able to turn it into something useful.
Our black gold.
Black gold. It is
More
black gold.
composting,
Exactly,
Daniel.
yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Adele.
Thank you, Adele.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, as promised now, our CBB Community Bulletin Board file. Here we go. On July 31st at 8 in the evening, you can watch The Visitor, a movie about a widowed college professor who strikes up an unlikely friendship with a Syrian musician, the musician's mother, and his Senegalese street vendor girlfriend. It stars Richard Jenkins and The Walking Dead's Danai Gurira. Arlington Mills movies are shown at 909 South Dinwiddie Street near Columbia Pike and South 4 Mile Run. More on movies now. Daniel.
Absolutely. Well, Roslyn's Office-themed Summer Film Festival continues with 2003's How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It stars Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey, and will show on Friday, that's July the 18th. On Friday, July the 25th, 2009's Up in the Air, starring George Clooney and Vera Farmiga, will play. The movies will screen from 8 to 10 p.m. at Gateway Park, that's located at 1300 Lee Highway.
All right, some more from our CBB file now. The County Board Community Outreach Program is hosting free, FREE, free drop-in citizenship classes for eligible legal residents who have applied or plan to apply for U.S. citizenship. Classes will prepare participants for the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services interview and exam. In July, classes are Monday through Thursday at 1 in the afternoon. Registration is required. Either go to the 5th floor of Arlington Mill Community Center at 909 South Dinwiddie Street, or call one of these two numbers, and here they go, jot them down, 703-379-8736 or 703-228-1388 for more information on citizenship classes. Daniel.
And Craig, if you're interested in something more athletic to do over the summer, then consider volleyball. Arlington Mill has co-ed courts available on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Courts must be reserved in advance, and anyone in high school aged or older can play. Call 703-228-7790 to book a court. Arlington Mill Community and Senior Center is at 909 South Dinwiddie Street. So reserve your court, Craig.
Reserve your court. Also in our CBB file, nearly 20 Arlington-based startups will duke it out over wine, beer, and appetizers. That sounds like a dangerous combination in Crystal City next week. Crystal City BID, in association with Arlington Now, or ARLnow.com, will be hosting the AR Live Startup Smackdown next Tuesday, July 22nd from 6 till about 8:30. The event is being held at the offices of Crystal Tech Fund, and they're located at 2231 Crystal Drive. Attendees can check out the products and services being offered by local startups, and they'll be given play money to invest in the company or companies that they prefer. The winning company will receive an exclusive lunch with venture capitalist Paul Singh. That sounds like a great event to attend.
I like that, the Smackdown.
The Smackdown. All right, we'll be back with our News for Seniors file right after we hear from our man about town for theater, the arts, and a whole lot more. Here's Rich Masabny.
Hey, Rich.
Take it
Thank
away,
you,
Rich.
boys. Thank you, boys. So as I'm concerned, you can take the whole McLean Community Players show, the cast of Guys and Dolls, which is currently playing at the Alden Theater down there in McLean, and take it to Broadway. It's that good. It's a fictional story about Damon Runyon characters in 1954 in New York City. The guys are gamblers looking for a place to play in a floating crap game. Nathan Detroit is one of the head guys, played by Rich Amada. Not only promises to find a place, but he's going to hide it from his long-suffering girlfriend, Miss Adelaide, played by Jocelyn Steiner. A Salvation Army-type group led by Sister Sarah Brown, played by Elizabeth Hester, tries to convince the guys to repent their sinful ways. A well-known guy in town, Sky Masterson, played by Andrew Bolden, becomes smitten with Sister Sarah. And a very nice story there. He takes her to Cuba for fun and stuff like that, and she's like a straight-laced girl, but she went with him. And then he had made a wager on that he could take her there, and everybody bet he couldn't do it. But he felt so good about the girl, he told them, nope, I couldn't take her. She wouldn't go to Cuba. Anyway, he was a gentleman, you know. So it's a great show. Guys and Doll runs through July 27. Call 703-790-9223 or check the website, mcleanplayers.org. Darn good show. The Studio Theater, second stage in the district, closes out its 2013-14 season with a musical version of Stephen King's 1994 horror story, Carrie, about the ultimate high school bullying, if you remember that. Emily Zickler plays Carrie, and her God-possessed mother is played by Barbara Waltz. She's known on Broadway. Carrie is befriended by Sue, who's played by Maria Rizzo. She's a nice little actress around town. She was playing Gypsy at Signature Theater, and she was wonderful. Anyway, she felt sorry for her, so she gets her boyfriend, Tommy, to take her out to the prom, because nobody else would do anything with her. Well, if you saw the movie, read the book, then you know what's coming up. Studio director Keith Allen Baker and his artistic team keeps this thing moving towards that wonderful, scary end. It runs through August 3 at the studio, 14th and P. Call 202-332-3300 for tickets and information, or check the website, Studio Theater, what's with the RE.org. Hey, and finally, here I think I know about restaurants, right? Well, right on 15th and H Street, Joe's Steakhouse and Stone Crab Restaurant. Now, Joe's Stone Crab in Miami is well known, and they opened up at a bank that sits at 15th and H, a restaurant here. I went there a couple of nights ago. I I was so impressed with this darn place. It's a real winner. They got a place now also in Chicago and Las Vegas. You can never know. You wouldn't realize it. You think it's been there for years. It just opened a few months ago. Much credit obviously goes to the managing partner, Michael Rotolo, and the restaurant manager, Travis Pays. It's a handsome place with stately white columns, high ceilings, a beautiful chandelier, and a handsome bar with seating. However, the best part is the menu. What a selection of seafood and steaks. I mean, more than you've seen anywhere. The big thing, of course, is the stone crab. They come cold, and they're already, the shells are cracked for you, so you don't have to mess with them, you know, that kind of thing. Joe's boasts the finest stone crabs in the world, and I don't know, people around there agree. Other seafood entrees are scallop, shrimp, crab, lobster, and if you like steak, Joe's is the place, boy. It won't quit. There's something for everywhere, not to mention the lamb chops, too. Geez, they just, calf's liver, too. Unbelievable. Don't overlook the appetizers, particular oysters on the half shell and oysters Rockefeller. You like oysters Rockefeller?
I do.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, fried oysters, fried oyster, too. Anyway, they got all kinds of desserts, key lime pie, banana cream, Boston cream, everything. It's a dining experience, so if you really got an occasion, I'd say go there. Call 202-489-0140. Check the website. It's simply www.joes.net. Wonderful,
Steak
wonderful.
and lobster and key lime pie don't get no better than that.
Banana
you're
cream
right.
pies,
Why don't
too.
you boys take me there for my
That's right.
birthday?
Oh, okay. Sure.
Okay.
Sure, Rich. No problem. All right. Thanks, Rich.
Thank you, Rich.
Here's promised now our News for Seniors file. Here we go. Well, three nutrition-related programs are coming up at senior centers, beginning with a session on how to eat healthy on a tight budget. This healthy eating session will be held Thursday, July 24 at 11 in the a.m. at Langston Brown Senior Center. Daniel.
Then at 1 p.m. on Thursday, Katie Strong from Virginia Cooperative Extension will demonstrate how to make healthy salsas using summer vegetables. This program will be held at the Walter Reed Senior Centers. Sounds like fun, Craig.
It's all about healthy eating these days.
Healthy eating, exactly.
Next up, on Monday, July 28 at 1:30 in the afternoon, Ann Perret, Programming Supervisor for Adult Senior Programs, will talk about gluten-free dishes at the Lee Senior Center. Ms. Perret has been following a gluten-free diet for 12 years, and she should have a lot of good insight on that particular type of eating. For more information and to register for these programs, give them a call. Here's their number, 703-228-4721. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Lieutenant Heather Herlock from the Arlington County Police Department will meet with seniors to discuss how to avoid identity theft and protect assets from scam artists. Her talk will be on Wednesday, July the 23rd at 11 a.m. at Culpeper Garden Senior Center. This is a free program. Call Culpeper Garden to register. That's at 703-228-4403.
And more on our News for Seniors files tonight. Senior Adult Specialist Nancy Connors will talk about facts for people over 50 about cancer. Her presentation will be held Friday, July 25 at 11 in the morning at Culpeper Garden Senior Center. Ms. Connors will discuss symptoms, tests, treatments, and preventative measures. To register for this free program, give Culpeper Garden a call at 703-228-4403. Daniel.
And Craig, former Foreign Service Officer and International Industry Executive Pete Himmelberger will be sharing his knowledge and experience about cruise traveling. That's on Tuesday, July the 22nd at 1 p.m. at Langston Brown Senior Center. He will offer tips on how to select a cruise line, how to understand cruise ship pricing, and what you need to know prior to boarding the ship. Call Langston Brown to register for this free program at 703-228-6300. Craig.
All right, and also on our News for Seniors file, American Style Mahjong is one of the new events this year at the Northern Virginia Senior Olympics, being held Oh, there we go. September 13 through the 24th. There are over 50 events which will take place at 19 different venues throughout Northern Virginia. Check their website for more information at www.nvso.us. And as always, thanks to Judy Masabny
Thank you, Judy.
of OSAP, Office of Senior Adult Programs, for sending us these announcements. Thanks, Judy. We appreciate your help. Okay, we'll be back with a quick bye-bye if we have time, right after we hear from Rich again and his guest. Here's Rich.
Hey, Rich.
Hi, this is Rich Masabny, and I have with us Laura Donahue. She's a Virginia State Director of the Humane Society of the United States. And that's a big deal.
Well, it's certainly a long title.
Yeah. So you cover the whole state?
I do.
I know you live in this area around here, but do you travel around the state?
I travel all around the state, unless it's January, February, and the first half of March, in which case I'm pretty stationary in Richmond for the General Assembly, keeping an eye on politics as it affects our animals in the state. But outside of that, yeah, absolutely. I am responding to disasters, visiting our shelters, working on cruelty cases, assisting law enforcement, holding citizen advocacy trainings with our members and supporters. Could be doing just
What
about
kind of
anything.
backup do you have? You carry a gun, or do you have, I mean, really, what kind of people do you have working with you?
Well, I am an army of one, so I
Okay.
have no staff, or I just, I have the headquarters. Our headquarters is in Washington, D.C., and then we have a lot of our staff are in Gaithersburg, Maryland. So it's just me representing the organization in Virginia, and I'm out on the road, but of course I don't feel lonely because I have, tens of thousands of animal lovers across the state. So I always have somebody to talk to and people to work with and collaborate with. But there are days where I wish I had a little bit of backup given some of the characters that I come across in my work, but so far everything's been fine.
Yeah, every so often you see in the paper or something or on television about animal cruelty, where horses, haven't been fed or they're mistreated, and I don't know how this happens.
Yeah.
How can people be that way?
There's a variety of reasons that cruelty and suffering occurs. Sadly, sometimes it's not an willful or intentional cruelty, but just a lack of education and understanding about an animal's needs. Horses, as you mentioned, are a really good example. They are complicated creatures to care for. They need their hooves trimmed regularly. Their teeth are a whole nother set of issues to watch. And so it's not as easy as a cat or a dog or a small animal. And they can, if these issues are ignored, they can get sick very, very quickly. So it's always sad when we come across a case where an animal is suffering, and again, it wasn't willful neglect, but perhaps the owner has fallen onto tough times themselves and couldn't afford the veterinary care, but didn't want to relinquish the animal. And so we do what we can when those situations come up to work with local shelters and local rescues and benefactors so that we can help those animals. So prevention, is key. Education is key. And where there is willful cruelty, fortunately in Virginia, we have one of the strongest cruelty codes in the country. Many other states, when they're upgrading their cruelty codes, look to Virginia.
Oh.
All vertebrate animals are covered, even fish.
Really?
So absolutely. So we, in general, we're a good state for animals, and the Humane Society has engaged in a number of trainings since I've been on board for law enforcement. And so it's really rewarding when law enforcement contacts us, working with a sheriff in Prince William County, actually, about one coming up in the fall. So, we work with these law enforcement entities and provide trainings for their law enforcement on signs for animal fighting, cockfighting and dogfighting, and other aspects of the cruelty code.
That still goes on, cockfighting and dogfighting?
Sadly, yes. When we upgraded our laws and we upgraded cockfighting to a felony in 2008, we definitely saw a huge reduction, without question. And some of the bordering states that don't have felonies we saw some folks move across the border, but it still exists. We know it still exists, and so that's why we want. You always have these new incoming law enforcement officers coming out of the academies, and we want to make sure it's part of their regular training that they understand the link between human violence and animal crimes, so that they will assist us in enforcing to the fullest extent of the law.
You were telling me about, we have about 3 minutes left, you were telling me about horses where they put something under their hoofs so they jump up high a little bit?
Yes, yeah.
Explain that.
So there's a practice called soaring, and many folks may be familiar with it. They're called Tennessee walking horses, and perhaps they've seen them on television, where they have a really high stepping gait. And most folks think, well, somehow that animal must have been trained to do that. Well, sadly, that's not the case. That's not a natural behavior for that horse. And what these trainers do to get that reaction is it's called soaring. They will put nails in the hooves or wrap acid or caustic chemicals.
Don't tell me anymore, please. This is Laura Donahue. She's a Virginia State Director of the Humane Society of the United States. A phone number you could reach her people at is 804-615-2233. It's on the screen. Or check the website, www.humanesociety.org. And I don't know what you'll see on that. What do you see on that website?
Oh, our website is great. We have fun, happy stories and also really pertinent calls to action about what's going on now, all the way down to Virginia and across the country. So if you go on there now, actually, you might see a little alert about the PAST Act, which is a bill in Congress that's going to strengthen our anti-soaring laws. So hopefully people heard about that and say, well, that's wrong. We want to help crack down on that. You can call your congressman or congresswoman right now and tell them to support the PAST Act. So we hope that actually gets through this session.
You called it the PAST Act?
PAST, P-A-S-T.
Okay, that
stands for Prevent All Soaring Techniques.
Oh, great. Okay, so I know what it means.
Yeah.
Another thing, as we're closing out, if we witness some cruelty, I don't know, somebody's kicking a dog or doing something worse, should we call this 804 number, or who do we call?
No. Thank you for the clarification.
Okay.
You should call the Animal Welfare League of Arlington.
Okay.
That's where law enforcement that specializes in animal control is housed. So if there's any illegal act of cruelty occurring, then absolutely the law enforcement locality should be called. In this case, it's the Animal Welfare
I don't know
League
their
of
phone number in my head. But we can look it up. That's
absolutely.
For sure.
And if people need to know it, obviously I'm a clearinghouse, so people can call me at any time for anything.
Thank you, Laura Donahue, for coming on. Very nice of you. You do good stuff.
Thank you.
Rich Musavny, back to the desk.
All right, thanks, Rich.
Thank you, Rich.
And Laura Donahue from Humane Society. Good stuff.
Great stuff. Great interview.
Learning how to take care of our animals, and then maybe they'll take care of us someday.
Yeah.
All right, that's about a wrap for this edition of the Arlington Weekly News. A reminder, anything else to say before we go?
My birthday this Friday.
We got a birthday boy over here coming up this Friday, so here
July
we go
18th.
in the key of B. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. We got to go. Happy birthday, dear Daniel. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much.
We're in pretty good voice.
How old are you?
Really. Thanks for watching this edition of the Arlington Weekly News. Have a safe week, and next week, if you're there, we'll be here and we'll do it all again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.